Okay, good morning, everyone. This is Brandy Simonero from the Center for Healthy Communities at Chico State, and welcome to our CalFresh Outreach Summer Planning Webinar Round 2. We know that Fridays can be a little tricky, especially for the campuses in the summer, so thank you for joining us today on a Thursday. Okay, so this webinar is really focused on what we can do during our summer months when campuses or our farmer partners don't have as many students or applicants around. And we really just want you to leave this webinar with some strategies and some next steps to make the most out of the next few months. All right, so now I'm going to turn it over to two of our amazing program managers, Melissa and Andy.
Hi, everyone. This is Andy.
Hi, everyone. This is Melissa. Thank you for joining us on this lovely Thursday.
All right, so I just want to give a quick overview of what we will be speaking about today. So the overall topic will be summer planning focuses. This will be events and outreach, partnership building, marketing and promotion, staffing, social media and website, and then finally budget planning and spending.
So let's start with a question. What is one thing that you are doing this summer to support yourself? This is not work related. This is all about you. So what are you doing this summer to support yourself? Please type your answers in the chat box. And Andy, what are you doing this summer to support yourself?
I am so excited to share that I will be going to Mammoth with my family. I don't see them often because they're in Southern California, so that'll be a big family trip in August. Melissa, what are you doing?
I am open to any and all adventures. I have a few things planned. I have a friend coming out. We'll be doing some camping. I'm hiking a lot, running, cycling, and hoping to get out and do some rowing as well this summer on the water.
Great, let's see what everyone else is up to. I see that Hawk is going to be traveling to see some friends.
Not working on Fridays. That's a great thing. 3-day weekends, yay.
And then Brandy is going to Vegas / Colorado starting this weekend.
Woohoo! Doris is traveling with friends as well. Anyone else? Evelyn, what are you doing? I saw you on the call. I'm calling you out. Okay, well, let's move on to the next slide. So let's look at what is our why. What is your why? So why are we here? Why are we doing what we're doing? Okay, process to progress to deliverables. So we start with the process, like how does this contract work? What are you doing to do outreach? To progress, once you're up and trained, then you get to progress to actually doing some of this work, and to the deliverables, and that is what your scope of work is. Increase numbers. So we are looking to increase those pre-screen numbers, increase the number of apps that are submitted, increase the number of apps that are improved, which leads to the number of people, students or otherwise, that are on CalFresh. And that's a win-win situation for everybody, including the state of California. Okay. It's game time, everybody. Let's do this. All right, so back to the summer planning topics. You know what they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So Andy did such a fun job of finding these lovely, lovely graphics. So first of all, we've got these, I don't know what that is, these fun little circles that are attached. And that is our events and outreach. And of course, then you see that we've got partnership buildings displayed by the buildings. And the little guy with the megaphone, marketing and promotion. And we go to all these people. You can have more than staff people. This is staffing. But you can have more than 4 people on your team. Hopefully you do. And then, of course, we have this lovely computer showing social media and website. And finally, dollars, dollars, dollars for budget planning and spending. Okay.
All right, so we're going to take some time to share. So based on these topic areas, where are your CalFresh Outreach Summer Plans focused? And you can pick more than one.
Hi, Rigo. Thanks for joining us. Don't be shy. You can go ahead and do the poll now.
Oh, good. So we see some answers coming in.
This is so much fun to see this calculating on our end. Okay, we've got 5 people who voted.
All right. Well, it looks like we're going to end the poll now. So it looks like the most popular ones is marketing and promotion, staffing, social media and website, and budget planning and spending.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us on that poll. Okay, so events and outreach. Let's dig a little bit deeper into this. Student orientation and welcome week. Let me back up just a little bit. This is very student focused because we do have a lot of campuses on this call. I'm not sure if any of our other partners that are not campuses are on the call, but for those of you who may not be on a campus, focusing on those SSI recipients is a great idea. Everybody should have received a letter from the county, and you can then start to do that follow-up and reach out to those folks. Even if you are on a campus, I just heard from one of our campuses that they are finding some of those SSI recipients on campus as well. Do you have student orientation or summer orientation on your campus this summer? If you do, that is a great way to hit those incoming freshmen, or during welcome week, the first week of school. So think about how you can reach out, who you can partner with. And I do want to mention that if you have students who are enrolled in the fall and are applying in the summer, they do not have to hit that student eligibility checklist. So they will be applying just as a regular person, not hitting that student eligibility. Then when they get their SAR 7 or their semi-annual report at the 6-month mark, that's when they're going to talk to their worker and let them know that they are now a student. Okay. And next is drop-in assist. Have your days or hours changed? More than likely, many of you have made some changes to those days and times due to the summer slowing down. Did you also update that information on any flyers or your website or wherever it is that you advertise that? So please make sure that you've changed the updates with that. Okay, Rigo, yes, the student eligibility part. If you have somebody who is enrolled in fall who is not yet a student, so they're enrolled in the fall semester, they do not have to hit student eligibility. So they're not applying as a student. They're just doing the regular eligibility. They don't have to hit that student eligibility because they are technically not a student yet. Okay, and that was per Los Angeles Department of Social Services. I spoke with somebody down there just to make sure, and she's like, nope, that's it. They are not students, so they don't have to hit that student eligibility. Okay. If they were a student in the spring and they're not working this summer, but they are continuing in the fall, they are a student. So they will be technically a student, so they will have to hit that student eligibility. Okay. Thanks for the questions. Great questions. All right. Outreach days. Start planning those for fall. I don't think we've heard from the Chancellor's office what days they want to do those CalFresh Outreach days, but you can plan other events around that. Are there events on your campuses that you can link up with? Do you have Greek organizations that do big events in the beginning of the semester, how can you reach out to them and work with them? Plan your dates, your days, and locations, keeping in mind when do most students come to campus? Is it Tuesdays and Thursdays? What are great times to reach those? Make sure you're getting those reservations for those spaces and planning in that area. And then finally, food tasting at your pantry or as a CalFresh outreach pop-up. So great idea here to utilize what you have in the pantry, and you can create some recipes around that, really kind of showing students how you can utilize what is in the pantry, what they can do with that. If you don't already know about this, you can go to eatfresh.org, and there's tons and tons of delicious recipes.
All right, so now we're going to go to partnership building. So my question for everyone is, who are your partners and who can you reach out to for partnerships? Please go ahead and write your answer in the chat box.
Don't be shy. Type away.
Oh, good. So it looks like we have EOP counselors, financial aid, dining services.
Awesome.
Student Health Center. That's a great one, too.
Yep. Any others?
All right. So those are all great answers and great partnerships to build. We just have a quick list here that we wanted to share. So we have admission department, financial aid department, parent advisory groups on campus, and then also connecting with your county reps.
And we have a few more answers up there. EOP, TGS, the Career Center, awesome. Student Psych Services, housing, definitely advisors, housing again, EOPS, foster youth program, Rigo knows that very well, non-credit health, counseling, sowing seeds in the LA Food Bank, awesome. Thank you for sharing all of the above, plus counseling. Sometimes we oversee counseling, but they can reach out to a lot of students, so great. Library and C's counseling. Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, let's talk about marketing and promotion. So this is really, really key in making sure that you get the word out to those students or those who you want to get onto CalFresh. So updating your promotional materials. As you know, we have a new logo from the state, from CDSS, and so the newsletter just went out this morning. You should have received that. So please read it, because guess what's in there? A little nugget of the new logo and the branding guidelines and the style guide. So that is going to be your friend and your partner with that new logo. So please read that. That just went out this morning. Also, updating any of your other promotional materials. If you have razor flags or banners, tablecloths that you might use at some of your events. What about canopies? Any printed materials that you have? Even the materials that you're giving students as their checklists and things like that might have the old logo on there. So be sure to kind of look back through your little archives and find where those old logos are and replace them with that new, fresh logo. Okay, connecting with associated student reps. How can they help you, and how can you help them, and how can you work together? So good idea to connect with them. And then finally, posting some flyers. Always a great way to reach out to students, making sure that you have that new logo on there. What about faculty? How do you reach out to faculty, or do you reach out to faculty? They are key. They can be key in getting the word out to students as well. So can you reach them via announcements or via mass email, campus announcements? What about financial aid? Do you post any of your information at financial aid, or do they have any information that they can hand out when they're working with students getting their financial aid and saying, hey, what about food aid? So where do those students go post those flyers? Hawk says, okay, wait. we had old marketing materials. Are we required to update? You are not required to update. We don't have any logo police, but but I think most of you have marketing materials in your budget. So if you're not sure if you have that, you can check with your fiscal analyst. But it is a good idea to update those logos because we want to start being really consistent with that same logo. So no, you're not required to. You're urged to. How's that? Without the logo police coming around.
I can add too that the California Department of Social Services, when they did their rebranding webinars and such, they said that they expected the full rollout to take about a year. So I think that definitely a good goal, a good target is to aim for having all of those materials refreshed by the next year. So banners, tablecloths, those sorts of things. Yeah, but like Melissa said, no rush.
Awesome. Thank you, Brandy.
All right, so we're going to move on to staffing. So the first topic under staffing is recruit students and staff. So for this one, asking the question, have you posted all of your job opportunities, all the jobs that you need filled, whether this is flyers around your organization or campus, also making sure that you're including this on your website if you can. And then, is there an internship program that you have established, or do you need to establish an internship program to get more students involved? And then finally, are there specific ways you can recruit on your campus or organization to get more of that student and staff involvement? And then the other topic under staffing is present trainings to staff and students. So students and staff, it is a good idea for them to get trained during the summertime since we do have a little bit of more time. You aren't doing as many applications. This is also a great time to fill in any gaps that they might have on eligibility, basic eligibility, student eligibility, applications. Do they need help navigating through Get CalFresh? Making sure, again, all those gaps are being filled. And then also, summer is a good time to train other departments on CalFresh outreach as well. And then finally, program managers will be reaching out soon to establish a date for your annual CalFresh outreach training. So just keep an eye out for that as well. All right, so that completes staffing. I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Natalie. She will be sharing what Chico State does for CalFresh outreach over the summertime.
Hi everyone. So here at Chico State, we plan for our summer outreach in 2 different steps. The first step would be we do a lot of reflection. So we go ahead and we take a look at the materials that we've been using most often the past semester, and we look at them to see if we need to make any changes. One of the big changes we found this semester was the new branding that came out. So all of the materials that we have currently had the old CalFresh logo, so that we knew would be one of the first things that would be on our list to do for summer. We also take a look at any of the current projects that we have going on, and we try to make sure that we wrap up any things that haven't been finished from our spring semester. We definitely take a look at our reporting numbers. We always want to make sure we know where we're at in terms of reporting. If there's anything we want to increase, we try and plan for that for the summer. And then we definitely take a look at our social media efforts. We take a look and see if there were any ways we want to improve, if there were certain platforms that attracted more audiences versus others. And then we definitely know that summer tends to be a bit slower because a lot of students leave. So we really take our summer time to plan for when August and September hit. We know that when students come back, we tend to be really, really busy. So planning and prepping for summer for the fall semester is very important. So then we move on to our summer plan. We tend to break up our summer plan based on months. So we kind of go ahead and figure out what goals we want to hit for each month. So our first thing we tend to do in beginning of the summer, so around June, we look for any events that are going to occur on campus. and we see if there's any way we want to create a partnership with these departments that are holding any events. So one that I know we had already mentioned would be that summer orientation event. That's a big one for us here at Chico State, so we try really hard to make sure we create that partnership with the summer orientation department to ensure that we can go ahead and reach out to those students that are going to be attending Chico in the fall. Another thing that we have planned to do is revamp our materials. Like I mentioned earlier, that new CalFresh logo came out, and so just taking all of our materials, revamping them to make sure they all look uniform is something that we're working on. We're creating an outreach materials bundle, so we'll have flyers that are geared towards students. We'll have flyers that are geared toward faculty, and then we'll also have flyers that will just be posted around campus. Again, trying to make sure all of these materials are uniform so that when school does start, we aren't scrambling to make materials. We have them already planned and ready to go. The next thing we do is we make sure that our social media is planned as well. Social media tends to slow down over the summer, but it's really important that we continue to post on a consistent basis. So we decide to come up with maybe 8 to 10 really solid social media posts that we can go ahead and spread out through the summer months. And lastly, we know that we're going to hit faculty really, really hard in August and September, so making sure we have a faculty outreach bundle created, just making sure that you have your faculty email ready to send to create that partnership with any faculty that are interested in having maybe classroom presentations about CalFresh. We also provide the faculty with a little CalFresh blurb that they can put in their syllabus that they give to their students. And then lastly, for our faculty outreach bundle, we create a faculty flyer to provide to the faculty that kind of promotes CalFresh and helps them explain what CalFresh is to their students. And then similar to what you guys had already mentioned before, we definitely do start to plan which departments we want to partner with when school starts. The EOP offices, like you guys said, financial aid, the health center, we definitely try and think of ways we want to reach out to them, whether that's creating a department email blurb. So we definitely look for the future in our summer plans. We make sure all of our materials are ready to go, and we have a good plan to start when August and September hit.
All right, thank you so much. Those are all great ideas. So thank you for sharing that with all of us, Natalie. What a great way to represent Chico State. So now we're going to move on to the next topic, which is social media and website. So under that topic, we do have website updates. I just want to let everyone know that this is a great time to do website updates again because it is a little bit slower. So if you haven't connected with IT services, please go ahead and do that. Oftentimes you can also meet with website services. And then again, just a reminder that on the subcontractor webpage, we do have webpage templates for everyone to use. There is an expanded and compact template to be able to get guidance for that. And then also, if you already have website content posted on your page, just please make sure that it gets approved by your program manager. Again, CDSS has already accepted the 2 templates we have, so we just need to make sure that that gets cleared if you already have your own materials. And then going on to the next topic, we have social media and calendar updates. So making sure that your calendar is up to date for either the end of summer and moving into the fall with any outreach activities you have. And then also students are typically good at social media, so making sure to include them in that process. And then with that being said, if you haven't started social media accounts, please use Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And then with that too, make sure to establish any hashtags that you want, that you would like to use, and also to just get a better hashtag for CalFresh outreach programs and any outreach hashtags that you want to use. And then I think Natalie touched on this too, how you want it to be uniform, so really using those hashtags as a way to brand yourself. So that's also a great idea. And then finally, I just want to let everyone know that we do have a webinar coming up on promotion materials and CalFresh branding. So that will be on July 24th. And then program managers should be sending you a calendar invite soon for that webinar.
Okay, and now we are moving on to the next wonderful, fun topic, budget planning and spending. And this is going to be Amy Reeson, who's one of our amazing fiscal analysts, who is going to talk to you about budget planning and spending.
Thank you, Melissa. One of my favorite topics always is spending money. So I want to just reflect back to the objective of this webinar. We've been talking a lot about summer planning as far as programming goes. And so while we're brainstorming these activities that can be done this summer, I want to bring up the point of, how we can utilize our budget and our funds to best support this work that we're doing. And why is that a priority? Just as a reminder, we are finishing up, let's see, this week, we are finishing up Q3 of this first year. These funds do not roll over year to year. So year one is coming to an end on September 30th of this year. And so our budgets are basically use it or lose it for each year. So if you have money still to spend or state share still to report, we want to go ahead and do that in these final couple of quarters. Overall, we want to showcase the progress that we're making and the value of this program and the need for this program across all of our campuses and organizations. So we continue to receive funding in the future and reaching this high need population doing the great work that we do. So really it's just our opportunity to support our program needs by being able to purchase materials, hire staff, and then B, it's also our ability to showcase to the state the need for this funding to continue. So I am going to first touch on using allowable expenses and budget projections. So they are really critical to the success of being able to spend appropriately on these projects. We have hyperlinked here to the USDA CalFresh Outreach guidance, and we will be sharing these slides. You can also find this link on our website. So if you're not familiar with that document, it has a great overview of what allowable costs are. Again, at a high level, just remember that anytime that you're talking about, thinking about, reading about, planning for CalFresh Outreach, all of that time is absolutely allowable. And then what we also see in that list is what materials are allowable. So materials that support your outreach, whether it be banners, canopies, tablecloths, rolling carts, things of that nature, those are absolutely allowable to getting this message out there. Printing applications, printing flyers, printing costs are absolutely allowable. Giveaways. This is a question we regularly get. This is also found on our website in our Q&A doc. We cannot purchase giveaways. What we can do is pay for the cost of customizing those giveaways to, say, CalFresh Outreach. So if you're putting the branding on pencils, on flash drives, on whatever kind of giveaways you might be using, whether they're bags to even use when folks are in your pantry, whatnot, we can only pay for the printing of the CalFresh Outreach information. So those are just a couple of highlights of what potential allowable costs would be. Again, if you have any questions on that or would like some help with doing final projections for this year, please reach out to your assigned fiscal analyst. We would love to help you with that. Another thing that has come up is some of us are still really working on getting those deliverable numbers up. So numbers of pre-screens, numbers of applications submitted and approved. And so I heard concern about spending when our scope of work or deliverable numbers are still a little bit low. That is okay. We understand with this program that there's going to be some upfront costs to get things rolling. So it's computers, it's those, outreach supplies that I just mentioned. Those are expenses that are absolutely allowable and are necessary to front load your project we will see those deliverable numbers come up. We want us to keep working in that direction, and we need to keep working in that direction. But don't worry if your budget spending is higher than what you're seeing on actual scope of work numbers. They can be, out of alignment for a period of time. Budget revisions. I want to mention that I already mentioned we can help with projections. We can do an unlimited amount of budget revisions for these funds. So again, talk to your fiscal analyst. If you're feeling like, wow, I budgeted for a lot in supplies, but I need more for personnel. That is okay. We are here to help you with that, and we can approve budget revisions in-house pretty quickly. We recently sent a mid-year fiscal update reporting the percent spent and percent state share captured to date. The intention of that is to make sure we are all on the same page moving forward with quarter 3 and quarter 4 reporting, and to really emphasize again the need to utilize these dollars this year while we have it. If you have any concerns with that, again, reach out to your fiscal analyst. And I just really want to say thank you to everybody who is here on the call working toward their summer planning, working on your activities and developing your plans for the next school year. Please just don't forget to utilize those funds to help enable you to do so, and reach out to us with any questions. All right, with that, I'll turn it back over to Melissa.
Okay, before we do this next activity here, I just wanted to do a shout out to Hawk she had typed in the chat box that one of their key allies was somebody from the Academic Senate Executive Board. So that's pretty darn cool. So good job on that. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, time to share. On a scale of 1 to 5, please rate yourself on how you are doing with summer planning so far. Just go ahead and give yourself a 1 through 5 on how you're doing so far. Type that in the chat box. 3.5. 3.33.
Oh, good.
4.
A 4.
Another 4. Like next week, right, Evelyn? Awesome. Okay, so awesome. You guys are doing a great job, and we are so looking forward to this last quarter and really increasing those numbers, keeping in mind our why we are doing this, and ultimately, again, it's to help people with food. So any other questions, please type it in the chat box. We're going to go ahead and kind of shut down here, but we'll stay on for just a moment if anybody has a question. And again, I just want to say thank you for participating in this webinar.
I'm just going to add, this is Amy again. Doris, if you have any concerns about updating materials for our upcoming program site visit, let's have an offline conversation. I realized when you asked that question, you might be anticipating our September site visit. So if that's where you were going with it, let's have a follow-up conversation.
Okay, Mount Sac, Rigo, you are the new Basic Needs Coordinator, getting your CFO program up and running. Awesome, great, good idea. You guys are doing great, though. You guys are doing really well.
And congratulations.
Yeah, looking forward to see your great ideas coming up. Okay, looks like we're going to wrap this up. So again, thank you and have an awesome Thursday.
Bye, everyone. Thank you for participating.